It's muted.
In the hell, bro, I gotta ask you, man. God damn, y'all boys scared. Bro, as us pretty red dimes as we are, how in the hell, bro, I gotta ask you, man. God damn, y'all boys scared. Bro, as us pretty red dimes as we are, how in the hell, bro, I gotta ask you, man. God damn, y'all boys scared. Bro, as us pretty red dimes as we are, how in the hell?
Oh my God. I thought you were going to play the whole clip. You just played that one part over and over.
So
That's not an IDGAB approved intro. I don't remember approving that motion.
Yeah, there was no music. I was wondering what was different.
all right, y'all want to play music?
Absolutely.
All right, let me play music because I don't like not.
Where's our actual intro? That's what I want to hear.
Wait, did you remove it? I think you removed it. You're terrible. Did you remove the song?
I have no ability to do that.
You do it. Okay, he removed it.
How do you feel about that?
Why would you remove it, Petty?
I didn't remove it. Why do y'all do this? Why? Y'all team
Why
up
would you?
against me, the youngest, the handsomest.
So you got into the studio, you removed the song, then you're asking to play it.
How do you feel about that though?
About what?
Just the whole situation, I guess.
You want to play the violin.
Petty is mad because he didn't have his solo intro.
I was eating cereal and making I'm steeping my tea.
Petty, are you a pretty red dime?
No, but I do hear I did hear there were two men on the that podcast you showed, and they were saying they were red bones or something. Bad bees.
He's certainly a long-haired, thick red bone if I've ever seen one. I can't. There's so much to this interview, and I've been watching people review it. I watched you review it, Petty. I've watched so many people review it, and I'm just like, there's so much, and it's so annoying, and so we're gonna put that at the back. So if you guys want to go get food, whatever, and then come back, do that, because anyway. So Fairest says he said, "Oh, I just read that." How are you, Petty? How are you, Kay?
Just swell. How are you doing? Themis, I like how your red sweater is like peeking in every once in a while.
I need to hide it. I'm cold, and so like this shirt was not doing it enough for me, but I didn't want to show the sweater. We were supposed to create a list or criteria for A-listers today. We're not going to do that. Maybe we'll do that next year, but we can't do it. There's too much. There's too much happening now, and we have to get into some mess. So yeah, how was your Christmas? How were you all?
I just slept through Christmas, so
Don't you have a family now?
they in the house fire last year, they all died.
Oh, all right. Sad.
Come on, Petty. What?
Yeah.
Sorrows, priors. How are you, Kay? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was good, low key at home. We don't really ever do anything big for Christmas like that. So, it was nice though. How was yours?
It was good. My friends flew up to visit me, and we went to a hotel And we went out and we did a lot of things. I was very happy. And I'm gonna fly. I flew back with them, and then I came back because I had work and I had YouTube. But I'm gonna go back to visit them this weekend for the New Year. So just flying around, just flying around. It was nice though because I was gonna just be home and sleep.
When
But
do you go back to work?
I am back at work, but this weekend I'm going down for New Year's.
Oh, okay. Okay. Little break in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are they making fun of the way I said hotel?
I almost said something, but then I was like, no.
Wait, why?
Say it
Why?
again.
Hotel?
That is not how you said it the first time.
How did I say it the first time?
I don't know, but I definitely took note that you pronounced it differently. Kind of like how you do Voilence.
Hotel. I don't know what they're talking about. Anywho, without further ado, I actually have something, because you know how next year we're going to actually do the IDGAB series where we are like actually breaking things down. Y'all don't know about it. I just made this up. Megan, the civil rights baddie, has been a member for 13 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I wanted to show you all this. We're going to play it in full, and then I want your opinion on it. Because a guy, let me find the guy. All right, there are two comments that I want us to go through. All right, there. All right, ready?
Yep.
Story about my Christmas this year, this morning, how it went. I am in a relationship. We live together. We've lived together for the last 4 years. We decided to give my son his older son's old gaming computer because his older son's getting a new one. And my son wanted one for Christmas. And I really didn't want him to have it. I had reservations about him getting a computer. I think he's a little too old, too young. He's only 9. But he convinced me to let him have it. He thought that it would be a good financial decision and also a way for him to have what he wants with us, not having to invest too much money. So he goes to his son's house, Christmas Eve, yesterday. He sets up the new computer, and it is a nice computer. It's even nicer than the one that he wanted, top of the line, okay? He gets the old computer. He brings it back. We have a dinner to go to. So we go to dinner. At dinner, we're discussing, I bring up like, okay, so what's the plan? Because we had discussed it prior about a week ago. And the plan was we were going to put it together, make sure his stuff was ready the night before while he was sleeping so he could wake up and play with his stuff. However, when I bring it up now, he's saying that, we could just do it in the morning and blah, 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 blah. He doesn't feel like doing it now. His family's in town. He wants to have some drinks with them, whatever. Okay. That was just not sitting well with me at all. That was not the plan. This is my son. I wanted him to wake up and enjoy his stuff just like his son gets to wake up and enjoy his stuff. Actually, his son has been enjoying his stuff since yesterday, the day before Christmas. Okay. So I get upset and I'm like, why does my son have to wait on enjoying his Christmas stuff because you want to be lazy all of a sudden? So since he didn't like what I said about being lazy, he says, well, why don't I just not give him the computer then? So we are at a dinner. We are at a girlfriend's house eating dinner when this happened. So I have to pull together. And in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to handle this? So I'm like, I'm going to get back to the house and I'm just going to put the computer disc together and just so he can have something to, because he had nothing else. This was his big gift. Like the other stuff was to supplement the computer. Okay. So I get home, I start putting stuff together. I'm a wreck. I'm an emotional free wreck. Okay. I start, I pull out the computer stand desk and I start, trying to put it together. And he says, as he sees me doing it, he's like, I don't know what you need a computer desk for when you ain't got no computer. I put the computer stand together. I put the chair together. And, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to tell him some story about how it didn't come. And I'm just going to have to go, tell him we're just going to have to go first thing in the morning, when the stores open back up to get you a computer, I'm sorry, come up with some lie. And I was hoping that, I was really hoping that I would wake up in the morning and he would still have that computer on that computer desk, like realize that what he said, what he was doing was wrong, even though my pride didn't even want it, but I did not want I wanted more for my son to not wake up to nothing for Christmas. So I was up all night. I was tired. So I was the last one up. So he comes in the room and he's like, are you going to get up? Your son's up. I go look in the room. There is nothing on the computer stand. Nothing on the computer stand. I say all this to say, obviously this isn't going to work out. But I just need you to understand, like, do not play with nobody's kids. Don't play with people's kids.
So I don't believe this was a skit. For those who are asking what happened, she has her boyfriend. Her son apparently lives with them, and her boyfriend has a son somewhere. And the son wants a computer. So the boyfriend was going to take the old computer, I presume, from his son and buy his son a new computer and then give the old computer to her son as a Christmas gift. That's how I understand. If that's not what is happening, that's kind of what I understand, right? And she and he are out with the family, and it's the night before Christmas, and she's saying, hey, let's go home because we planned on wrapping the gift and putting it up, setting things up for my son when he wakes up. And so he's out and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. We can do it tomorrow morning. And she says, okay, let's stop being lazy. This is what we promised to do. Let's go home and do it, or let's do it tonight. And he says, no, I'm not doing that. So she gets emotional. She goes home. She tries to set up the table by herself. She does set up the desk by herself. He comes in, sees her setting up the desk, and says, why are you setting up this desk? There is no computer. Like, what are you going to put on there? And she's hoping and praying he's like joking, and that the next morning she'll wake up and he'll put the computer on the desk. She's tired. She goes to bed. He comes in to wake her up and says, oh, your son is up. She's excited, I'm assuming, goes down to see the son and the desk is empty. And he didn't put the computer up for the son. Yeah. And so she's crying.
That is so mean. Like, why would he do that? Like, even if he felt a way about how she acted, that could have been a different conversation. But like, I just think that's bogus because it was for the kid. And I'm assuming the kid didn't know about it since it was a gift, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they promised him a computer.
Okay, yeah. So then that makes it even worse. Like, he could have handled it with her separately. And yeah, you shouldn't do that to a kid. I don't think that was mean.
I wouldn't put it beneath a man to fix himself as a weapon against a child in order to get back at a woman. Weren't you talking about some research that shows that once a man move on from a woman, he like abandoned his child, even if it's his blood child? So the idea that a man's relationship with a child is like completely attached to how he feels about the woman he's with isn't new to me. That does seem very terrible. Someone was pointing out that if he did that to a child, he probably would do that to a woman, probably has already. But I don't know their relationship history, so I won't comment on that.
I mean, she said it's probably not going to work. Good for her.
So this was probably like the head of a pimple. But yeah, I said this about canned pumpkin guy. I don't if a man is like using an opportunity, just an everyday opportunity that could happen any day, and using it instead to teach you a lesson and smite you, hurt your child, hurt the stability of the family, it's a red flag. I mean, it's more than a red flag. She's divorcing, so, or seeking divorce, it looks like.
What I don't understand is the pettiness and the punishment of the child. You're with this woman, this is her child. You are not his dad. You all promised him something, let's say the way she said, let's not be lazy, let's go home and set it up, was too pushy, and you were taken aback by that. As an adult, you talk to her about what you feel she said, or if she disrespected you. You don't punish, in your words, the child by not giving him the gift that you all promised because the mother's tone is whatever. There's a bunch of comments, and I wanted to go through the comments, but I'm not going to go through them because we have too much to do with Simone Biles. There is a lot of men in the comments saying that's why you don't be disrespectful. There were some saying that that's why you can't depend on me because I'm going to always take care of my child first. And after I take care of my child, my blood, then you can expect me to do anything else. And she is ridiculous for wanting more. And I'm a bit taken aback, not by the conversation happening online, because they're always kind of degenerate. So I'm not surprised, but it is odd. It's an odd thing to realize that we are in a world where people, men in particular, are very comfortable, like expressing kind of who they are in relationship. Like the bad parts of who they are, they put it out there, which leads us right into Simone Biles right now. And everyone is going to get mad at me.
I mean, before we get to Simone Biles, can you understand maybe the extremes of this situation? Because in my mind, I'm watching a woman describe how he was being lazy. She called him lazy, right? Not like making up something out of thin air, but pointing out a behavior that he's doing in real time. He got upset and decided to teach her a lesson. This is eerily similar to me. Obviously, this is an extreme, but the man who unalived his ex-wife and his ex-girlfriend, they had a history apparently of trying to get restraining orders against this man, saying this man is mentally unwell, stalking them. He's upset that they're calling out his problematic behavior, so he decided to unalive them and then himself. So, and then the men, like the men that you showed in these comments, were doing the same thing. That's why you shouldn't have made him upset. That's why you shouldn't have done X, Y, or Z towards him, pointing out the behavior in the woman instead of the man who's doing the wrong thing. So even though what I just mentioned, I think is an extreme, I don't think it's too far off from what's going on. And it's concerning to me, at least.
And it could be that he was out, not trying to be lazy, but having fun and not wanting to go home. But you've made a promise. And this is something that like really bothers me personally. The idea that when you get a better option, you choose to take it instead of fulfilling the obligation and the commitment you made. You know what I mean? It's the person who says, oh, let's go watch movies or whatever, and then someone else invite them somewhere and they cancel on you because that other thing is better. So it might not be that he was in fact being lazy, but rather that he's like reneging on going home to do what he promised because he was having so much fun out with his family. But again, you're breaking your promise and you're at fault. And that in and of itself is a problem. However, please remember to like the video. I'm giving you 5 seconds to like the video because I don't think anyone is going to really like what I'm about to say now. And obviously, Petty and Kay and I aren't. I do not speak for Petty. I do not speak for Kay. They are here and they can drag me. All right. You all ready? Y'all want to be lied to, and I don't understand why. These men are coming out and they're telling you all what they believe and how they see themselves in relation to you. And all these commentary online are annoying me. When people are sitting up saying he should have come out and he should have, this is Simone Biles' husband, right? People like, he should have praised her, he should have done this, he should have done that. He shouldn't have done anything but tell the truth. If that is how he feels, that is how he feels. There is no reason, in my opinion, and I won't be on a high horse because y'all can correct me on this. There's no reason for him to be lying. I watched a video that I completely agree with conceptually, right? That is talking about how he could have leveraged his basic career that no one knows about, that no one cares about, that no one is invested in. He could have leveraged access to Simone to make brand deals and become more than a player, because a good player, apparently he's not. I don't know, I don't watch football. But he could have uplifted her to tap into the Black woman's market and become the face of Black love and push all kinds of foolishness. I am fully in agreement with that from a PR perspective. But are you willing to sit there and be used, commodified, so this man can make money when he's not interested? No, let him talk his truth. By the way, no, it's not Mocha Mami. I actually like Mocha Mami's video, because what Mocha Mami did is addressed it from a business perspective. I wasn't talking about Mocha Mami, but I understand why you would think I was talking about Mocha Mami. I did like Mocha Mami's video, and I was gonna repost that. But it is interesting to me that so many people want to be lied to. He is the prize. It is that simple. In that relationship with Simone Biles, as decorated as Simone Biles is, Simone Biles is the one who went after him, chased him. He literally sat up there and said, if she didn't have enough followers, I wasn't going to respond. Didn't know who she was, which is a lie. And she drove this far. Like, he's adding these very specific details where he wants you to know that he was not about to chase Simone Biles. He wasn't even going to respond to Simone Biles. She had to chase him. She did. So I am confused as to why anyone is upset. Like, you can be upset. Correction, you can be upset. That is completely fine. Be upset. But he is definitely the prize in the relationship. She knew he was the prize in the relationship because she went out of her way to chase him, to make him her husband, and to create the life that they have. If this is a problem for you, then change the way you interact with men. He is the prize. If she is a decorated Olympian, which she is well known, she is famous, she is rich, she is everything, she is that girl. And she decided that this is the man she wanted. She sat in that interview while he diminished her accomplishment to uplift himself, diminish their relationship. These people did not ask him specifics about how she chased him. He volunteered that information, and she sat there and smiled and laughed. And when she corrected him and like, you're the one who liked me first, he was like, yeah, no, that didn't happen. You're the one who swiped right on me first, so that's that on that. You sat there and you laughed. You then went online and you liked comments indicating that people might be jealous of you because you got the ring that you probably bought. Don't know that, just an assumption. I am confused as to why people are saying he should have come out and uplifted and he should have done this and he should have done. No, he should have done what was in his heart. And he did what was in his heart. Now you see it. What are you going to do about it? That's my opinion. All right. Rant done. Go ahead. And we'll watch some of it.
I reject the notion that people want to be lied to, specifically women. I've heard this most popularly through some manosphere channels when talking about dating, and guys are like, oh, if we were, girls want you to get them flowers and tell them you love them and stuff like that. They don't want us to be honest and say, oh, I just want to have sex with you and all this other stuff I'm just doing to have sex with you. That's how I've most commonly heard it said, that women want to hear lies instead of the truth.
No, people were saying, wait, no. I'm not saying generally. I'm speaking specifically on this point. I am saying the women listening want to be lied to when they sit up there and said, he should have done this or he should have done that, and they need to get a PR team. So when he comes back out again, he knows what to say. If you now understand how this man feels and you are telling him to change what he's saying so you can feel better, you want to be lied to.
I reject that. I still reject that notion. People don't want him to lie.
Wait, then address what I am saying. Do not speak
I'm
generally.
using that as a comparison before I come back to the
No,
point.
don't
I'll
do
just
it.
say it's fine.
No,
I will just stay on the point. I still reject that notion. People don't want him to come out and lie about how he feels about her or be disingenuous about anything. People want him to actually be that person. That's all. That's how I reject.
Well, that's not what they said.
What did they say?
They said they need to.
I haven't seen anyone say he should get a PR team.
Really?
Besides, I've seen some.
I will send you the videos and the comments, and we might look at some of them right now.
Is that the prevailing thought, or are you looking at specifics?
What do you mean?
Is that like the prevailing thought online about their relationship?
Oh no, the prevailing thought I'm with, they're dragging him as he should be dragged. But I have a problem with the dragging of him too. And I'll tell you my problem with the dragging.
It's like she said in the comments she agreed with. Y'all are just jealous. She got the ring. She got the prize. She got him with 1/3 of her net worth. That is a look, if I was getting paid 1/3 of what Simone Biles was making, that's a lot of money. That's 1/3 of what she's making. I'm not going to pretend like that's not a lot of money. It's literally 1/3 of what she's making, which is 16 million. So just because he's at 4 to 5 million, like that's a lot of money. That is 1/3 of what she's making. Maybe he is the prize because that is a lot of money. Not as much as her, but it's still a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And he's also an athlete. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's not the prize because he is an athlete. He's not like 7-time gold medalist.
I mean, when Simone Biles is liking a comment saying that people are jealous of her because she got the ring, I'm going to have a problem because you don't think we're more jealous that you are rich and successful and powerful. You think people are jealous of you and that man. You think being a wife to him is making people jealous, not your other accomplishments. Like, you really think that. Like, you think people are jealous of you.
I'm mainly jealous of her tumbling skills, her gymnastic skills.
Let me be able to flip and tumble. And what you mean? No one is jealous of your relationship. People are like people are trying to protect you, but I will speak to the people who are trying to protect you. I do not appreciate people telling women online to go get some self-esteem. You are not doing anyone any good. Right? If we're speaking generally, we can talk about self-esteem, but the notion that you're going to throw it in someone's face that they need to go get some self-esteem is absolutely reductive. Again, there is a clarification here. You can talk about self-esteem and the lack of self-esteem in a community among certain people, but when one person specifically on a public platform is going through something that can be embarrassing, that is not the time to throw it in their face that they need to get some self-esteem. Even if you're being truthful and even if it's accurate, it is dismissive, it is reductive, and it's actually kind of hurtful to the person you are claiming to hurt. It is absolutely ridiculous that so many people are on her post telling her to get self-esteem as if you telling her to get self-esteem is going to give her self-esteem. It is disrespectful.
You don't think we can shame her out of that relationship?
Is that what y'all are trying
and before
to
you answer that,
no.
even if the answer
no. Go ahead.
Even if the answer is no, you don't think we should try? How are we going to curb behavior if we don't call it out? Guys, stop talking to Simone Biles and telling her.
I am not telling y'all to stop talking to her. I'm telling y'all to stop throwing it in her face about her self-esteem.
Like she threw that ring in our face. Why did she went low? I went lower. Who was it in the comments saying we're jealous of their ring, as if I'm jealous that someone is married to filth? I don't understand why people hold their ring up like it's hard to get a ring. Oh my God, we're so jealous that you got married. What a difficult thing to do. So difficult.
I'm trying to be serious and you're annoying me.
I'm just trying to see who went low first. That's what I'm trying to see, because I feel like a proportionate response is appropriate.
Why are you doing this?
I don't like people. I don't like you got the, at least I have a ring though, which I believe is like an evolution of some type of pick me girl archetype, which is a evolution of some type of I'm not like other girls. I hate that. I hate that to every fiber of my being. I hate when someone tries to gatekeep you out of a conversation by saying, where's your ring though? I see a lot of single women commenting, I don't see anybody with rings. Okay. I'm seeing women making posts talking about Simone Biles' marriage is a reason why I want to stay single. And I see people in the comments like, this gonna keep you single forever.
Yep.
It's nothing more infuriating to me than someone running into the point and missing it. That is so upsetting. It's so annoying and frustrating. So yes, I'm gonna be in her comments, especially after she said that.
Okay, so absolutely not. It is funny, and I think you do have a point. The problem is we have created a culture where women believe that having a ring and a wedding is important and useful. It is odd to me that you can understand then why publicly, if she's already in this marriage, that she would be defending the marriage. Like, if you're attacking the marriage, which you are, she's defending the marriage. And the attack, it wasn't her talking about her marriage first, it was her getting dragged, her and her husband getting dragged for the way the husband represented them on the podcast. And she's now defending. I don't agree that she should be defending, but the fact that we are so willing to drag her is a problem. And if you believe we're in a black male worshiping culture, then I am not sure why we wouldn't expect her to behave this way.
I don't think the commentary is going to change her mind or anything. I don't even think people should be trying to change her mind.
Thank you.
No.
I mean,
no.
wait,
She
no,
needs to sit in her home. She needs to sit in her home and feel silly.
What?
She needs to sit up in there with that man and feel silly. Oh my God,
Wait.
everybody is saying I look so silly, and she just in here. He just in there. Don't worry, babe. I got you. You got the light bill this month.
Can I agree until she says we shouldn't be trying to change her mind? I think we should be trying to change her mind, but I worry about the way we do it because there is an understanding in the way that people are throwing it in her face that it's almost like people believe she's not attractive enough to get this guy on her looks. Right? And that he's obviously having to be using her to be with her. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's how you approach this. Someone said, how do we do it, Themis? I don't know how you change people's mind, because if I could change people's mind, all of y'all's mind would be changed already.
Before you try to overthrow the system, maybe you should have something to replace it with.
I'm not trying to overthrow a system. I am not trying to overthrow a system. I'm trying to tell you all, unless the system is to drag black women publicly. Is that the system?
I don't ask her husband. It seems like it. That seems like the system right now.
I'm asking you. You should not be dragging her publicly, but I do take your point.
I feel like it's okay because her husband is doing it. She has no issue. She was smiling in that interview.
Yes, because she is caught up in whatever love, whatever she's doing. My issue isn't about what she's doing. My issue is our response to her under the guise of we want to help her. So and I do believe, let me be clear, I do actually believe the people who are engaging in the way that they're engaging are doing so thinking they have her best interest at heart, but you don't look at a woman like this and publicly shame her to get self-esteem. Like, what do you mean?
When you say, are people saying she's ugly and she's not attractive, or are people saying this man was not attracted to you?
They're saying both of those things.
Okay, well, of course, I disagree with the ugly comments.
Here's who light-skinned Keisha wanna be. I kept partner with successful athletes, pursued light skin with BB. Long hair, don't care, is before color. The thing is, I'm laughing because I do... I'm going to explain in a minute. Themis, I think they meant it from a public relations standpoint, yes, but that's what I am concerned about. The idea that we wanted him to think about public relation while not substantively changing. If you're going to change. If you are not changed, and if you don't love her, and if you don't care, then do what you're doing. Right, so that everyone can know. Because one thing Simone Biles can come back and say is that she didn't know. Anyone who will publicly disrespect you that way does not love you. I don't care what anyone says. if he's going to publicly disrespect you that way, he does not love you. And the fact that you sit there and diminish yourself and diminish who you are to make him feel good about himself, resentment has to build. And he's going to know every single day he wakes up, he's going to look at you and know that you are one of the most decorated athletes of all time. And he is a football player somewhere. So I don't know how much cognitive dissonance it's going to take for him to forget this reality, but he's not about to forget this reality. And he's going to always know. So you can diminish yourself as much as you want, Simone Biles. You can diminish, you can reduce, you can even pretend like you're not a gold medalist at the Olympics. He gonna know. And he's
But
going to insist
do you
for it.
think she's doing that? Like, do you think that maybe
Yes.
she just feels so comfortable that her athleticism is at such an elite level over his that she's just like, whatever, it doesn't even matter.
Nope, she's diminishing herself. When a man sit up there and says, I am the prize, and you like, no one asked you. He was like, she drove 45 minutes. Girl, who asked you that? Who asked you? Who asked you if you knew who she was? Like, why are you volunteering additional information to demean her? And she's sitting there laughing about it as if like this is funny. What is funny about any of this?
Because he was insecure. That's why he was volunteering at Themis, because I watched the full interview twice. And what I found out was those interviewers, they're petty. Let's say it. Those interviewers are petty. I watched it, and what I didn't realize was the interview wasn't even about Simone Biles. They were actually supposed to be talking about his football career.
His first touchdown ever.
Actually, anyway, so tackle ever. But they were supposed to be talking about that. And I can't imagine personally being a man and having a phone call where someone says, hey, man, we've been looking at your stuff and we're really interested in it. And I turn to my wife and say, finally. And then I go there and they're like, yeah, no, we don't care about that. Tell us about Simone Biles. Tell us about your wife. What about her? Well, what about my highlights? Yeah, we'll get back to that later. We'll save like 2 or 3 minutes in the end of the interview for that. But tell us about your wife. I would be insecure too, and I might grasp for any string of masculinity I could, and I would be like, you have to drive to me. And well, not masculinity, because I'm the prize and I'm the red bone. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's masculinity, but he clung to whatever that was, ego, insecurity, whatever you want to call it, and said she drove 45 minutes to me. I didn't even want her. I didn't want to settle down, but shoulder shrug. She's not really my type, but she reached out to me first. Don't know why he volunteered. Oh, he volunteered all of that because every time they were talking about football, they kept going back to Simone. And when they were talking about Simone, they kept pointing out all of her achievements.
People are talking about how he is not good and how he was traded from team to team and it was a tackle. I don't know anything about this man, and I don't know anything about the sports he plays. If I never said that in the beginning, let me say that now. I don't care about anything having to do with this man. Let's just be all the way clear. All I am looking at is this one interview. So I agree with you, by the way, Petty, and the implication here that it must be all kinds of insecure for the moment you get a chance to talk about something positive that you did in your sports, right? That it turns around to Simone Biles, because at this point is when the interviewer said, girl, we both red bones and we that girl. And so how you get Simone Biles, right? First of all, the man who says we're both red bones and yellow bone is what he wants, the guy that said that, he is light skinned, but like, the dime part is what confuses me. You can say Simone Biles' husband is attractive, but you can't say that about the one who tried to put them in the same category. This man, Simone Biles, by the way, husband, is as light-skinned Keisha. So I'm not sure where this red bone, yellow bone conversation comes up in and why they're having it, but it's not. It is what it is. Agree with some people wanting someone to lie to you. I'd rather be hurt with the truth than be consoled with a lie, period. Thank you. Wake up, petty for the win. Period. Y'all want to be lied to. That's why you said that. I agree with you, Themis, up until the last point when she comments about Black women being bitter and single. She is insecure and has low self-esteem. All right, here is the problem. And I understand the need to lash out or push back when someone generalizes negatively about the community. And I agree with their sentiment. The problem is, if you believe we are in a quote unquote black male worshiping culture, if you actually believe that, then you cannot also reject that this is the trigger and this is how people are going to respond. And we can have compassion. I would prefer for us to have some compassion for this young lady who is on the public stage with a man fully disrespecting her, in my opinion, fully disrespecting her. And she's out here fighting for the marriage that if it fails, everyone is going to be like, we told you so, instead of giving her a hug. Right now, what we are doing is pushing her further and further into the arms of this man, where he get to do whatever because she's going to try to save face now and pretend like he's not out here cheating on her when he starts cheating, or if he starts cheating. Let me not put that out in the atmosphere. In fact, I hope he doesn't cheat. Simone Biles is a gorgeous woman, and I see women disagreeing with that. The public is just actually aware of how colorist Black men are. Agreed. Sin said, Demas and Petty, do y'all think he is attracted to her? No.
Well,
No. Not even in the slightest.
I think
Why do you think he's not attracted to her?
Because you don't treat people like, if he was attracted to her, he would hang on to that attraction and he wouldn't be. It's almost like he was advertising. So how I read the interview is he was advertising himself. He was saying, look, I know I got a wife, but I really didn't try to get her. I don't want to get with her. She literally begged me to be in a relationship and I'm here, but like, that's why I'm here. And for me, there is a very specific undertone. This is all in my head. He said none of this. It seemed as if he was still on the market, or even if he's off the market and he doesn't plan on cheating, it is almost like he's reassuring people that, look, I didn't choose her. I know I married her, but like it was because of who she is and why she showed up and she tried and she fought for me and she begged me. That's what I got from it. So yeah, I don't think that's attraction.
I think he's attracted to what she can do for him.
Yeah, same.
I think she's so cute. He's probably attracted to her.
She is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think she is beautiful.
Yeah, I think so too. So I mean, I think he's probably attracted to her, but like, I just think it's a really weird way to talk about your wife publicly.
Girl, I saw two of his ex and they would look nothing like her. So I mean, people have all kinds of type, but two of them look nothing like her. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's so attracted to her that when they matched, he didn't even reach out to her, and he said if she hadn't have reached out, he wouldn't have. They wouldn't have even been together. Because anyway, that's how attracted he is to her. I'll let y'all decide.
Well,
this is the
her,
problem
though.
too. Someone said in the chat that Simone Biles is not the victim, and it's unfortunate that because like two things can be true. She can be lashing out, right? But we can still hopefully hold space for forgiveness because she is going to need the community if this man decides to walk out on her and do anything to her. And when people say she has low self-esteem, by the way, I was talking in the Discord and Afro Butterfly pointed out that self-esteem, and this is something I should have known, but self-esteem can be sort of compartmentalized. It's not just one thing. You can be really successful and have high self-esteem in one area of your life while also not having it in another area, all happening simultaneously. And so I don't think it's right to dismiss or say she's just low self-esteem. She's a high achiever on one end, and she's with this man on another. And I do think she will need people if this goes bad, and the public if this goes bad. Now, I don't know why she's deciding to demonize the public. I don't know why she's going after Black. I do, but it is unfortunate. Sorry, Kay.
No, I was just saying, like, I think that, like you said earlier, like it shouldn't be a situation where people are waiting to say "I told you so" instead of giving her a hug or whatever. If anything were to go wrong, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they're happy. Hopefully all that. But I think, how old are they?
Girl, I don't know. I didn't look it up. I don't care.
Both late 20s.
They're in their 20s. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think some things in people's lives, they just have to kind of go through and, see how it goes on their own, no matter what anyone else is saying. That's why I just think like it's not a good use. Well, for me personally, not a good use of my energy to try to convince her of anything. She doesn't even know who I am. But like, I get why.
Oh, I will try to. I hope you're watching because I titled this Black Love so she can think we're talking good, so she can watch. Because I know he is also insecure, by the way. And this is the problem that, like, we think about insecurity in this very specific way. We're like, oh, if you're not in this relationship or you don't feel comfortable in this relationship, you're in. He's insecure about his career. He's insecure about his manhood. If he was not insecure, he would have used the moment to uplift his wife as opposed to trying to uplift himself. Because it is, for all the people that I disagree with, I actually do agree with Mocha Mami. And if you haven't seen her video, it's a really good, well done video. He could have uplifted her and it would have uplifted him. So the people who, in my mind, want to be lied to, they are actually being truthful in that he could have used this as a platform to raise his public profile as a man who actually stand up for his wife and protects his wife. Because who are you, interviewer, to ask me these questions? And when that man says, would it be fair to say you weren't really into Simone Biles? He should have checked that guy. And we have two old men up there sitting with this younger guy, and instead of teaching this man, and I was listening to someone right before this live stream, forgot the person's name. Instead of these two older men sitting down with this guy and saying, yo, this is not how you treat your wife. You are now being raised to be a husband. Because every day they talk about how to be a wife, how to be a wife. Maybe y'all need to have classes about how to be a husband because you don't disrespect your wife publicly or privately, but you definitely don't demean her in the way that you just did. And if any of those two men, the interviewers who are older than him, were worth anything at all, they would have sat him down and explained to him how he should operate with a wife, how he should be as a husband. But none of these people care. And it's so annoying to sit there and watch two grown old men talk to this young guy and just start laughing and prancing around of him disrespecting. Every man watching that knew it was insecurity. Every single man. There is zero man, in my belief, that has any brain cell watching and not pick up on the fact that that man was fighting for his life to get some self-esteem. But that's not how you get self-esteem. What you did was you brought down the one good thing in your life. Someone just commented, oh, they're both at the prime of their career. He's not at the prime of anything. He's not at the prime of any. If this is the prime of his career, girl, he ain't got it. All right. We're saying that Jonathan has a history of dating throwbacks and didn't say one positive word about Simone Biles, who seems to be finessing her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it should have been a teachable moment as well. Like some of the men, the people who were doing the interview definitely could have said something, even in a lighthearted way, to kind of call it out and just kind of set him straight in terms of how he could have talked about that publicly. Because even if he allegedly didn't know who she was, which is very hard to believe, even if he allegedly didn't know who she was, like just saying it, like the way that he was saying those things publicly, I think is what most people have the issue with, not whether or not he knew her, not whether or not she drove to him, like all of that, whatever. But like him kind of framing it in a way that makes her look bad to the public, I think is the reason why so many people have an issue with it.
Yeah,
my problem is the lack of foresight is so annoying. Even if you were finessing him, which is what the other YouTubers are saying, not others, like all of them, but like, even if you were finessing, how are you that short-sighted? You're going to give up an opportunity to raise your public profile by demeaning her. Like you.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like instead of in that moment, right? You could have taken her fans and made them love you. You could have courted her fans. And this is what I don't appreciate, because if you don't believe it, you shouldn't do it. So period. but it felt like you just trade off long-term gains for the short-term laugh and joking moment. And it's like, how do you not even have that kind of foresight? Like, how are you this celebrity now, barely, and not like just let your ego take over in the moment when you're supposed to be building some kind of brand?
Yeah, because I think men would have respected him and women would have really loved him if he would have done that. If he would have been like, kind of framing her in a more positive, not that, if he would have approached that differently, then
Yeah,
I
if he
think
would have lied.
he could have not even lied, but just like
If he was lying about his feelings.
not even lying about his feelings, but just not saying the things he said. It's like, has he ever been? I don't know. I just think he totally missed a really good opportunity to like you said, gain some like positive attention for himself, and now he has all these people dragging him online,
As they should.
and
But
that's
yeah.
like what he's going to be known for, like for even longer. And I feel like that's what he probably wanted to avoid, being known as like her husband and all that, but now it's going to be even more of that.
I think I actually believe that's the rest I think is reasonable, but this part specifically I don't think is reasonable. Are you asking this man to think 30 seconds in the future about the consequences of what he will say and how that might impact his relationship? Are you seriously asking this man to think 30 seconds into the future, 30 minutes, 30 hours? What will be the repercussions of this? Are people going to make fun of my much more famous wife? Have you seen the concussion rate in the NFL? I feel like we're setting too high a standard for some of these people. All of them on there, we're talking about they played football, by the way. So we can apply that concussion rate to all of them, aside from Simone Biles, maybe the twisties, but nothing else. So I think we're setting a little bit high of a standard for someone who brain may jiggle around in a helmet after being hit. But to be fair, a lot of his career was on the bench, according to the research I did.
Okay, you did research on this man. Absolutely not. Refuse.
I did what I feel like was an incredible amount of research to try to find out details about his career, because in my live stream, I don't make fun of people. I don't drag people. That's not who I am. So in my live stream, what I wanted to do was I actually, believe it or not, I wanted to prove people wrong. I was like, I'm sick of people just talking down on him. Let me go and research his career, and so we can uplift him. And I looked up this man's career. I looked up his biography. Most of his biography was about his relationship with Simone Biles. Most of his biography was like he grew up in Kansas, then he met Simone Biles, then he went on a date with Simone Biles, then they got married. He was at the wedding with Simone Biles. Then he and Simone Biles went on a podcast. It didn't talk about his football career at all. Oh, it said he got drafted. That was his biography. That was his biography.
His biography was Simone Biles' story.
I went and looked up his highlights clip from football, which is supposed to be his most impactful moments. The majority, if not all of them, were from practice, because apparently he doesn't actually get off the bench for the real games. According to the people who were on all these NFL forums, they were saying these highlights aren't much. Let me read this. The video is only 2 minutes long, includes 2 tackles and a failure to intercept. Seems decent, maybe a little lackluster. These are his highlights, the highlights of his career. So I went and watched the highlights. You know what's crazy? Simone Biles was on the stand in the highlights with her mom. That was a part of his highlights reel, of his most impactful moments. But so yeah, people are saying he's average, maybe mediocre as far as NFL, but I don't have the credentials that you need to judge such a sport. So grain of salt.
This man said black women wanted to be her to be lonely just like them, because black women can keep a man. Sinji went over this, and I'm very confused. What y'all mean? when y'all down there talking about black women can't keep a man, who y'all really talking about? Because I feel like that statement is statistically provable or not provable. Like that is a statistical reality that we can prove and disprove. Someone named the pill. You remember that book I read with all the comma? That's the guy, and I can't find his comment now, and I'm very annoyed because I actually had it on the screen saved. Anywho, he went into the shade room and he was talking about some, oh, by the way, Sin, I'm referencing Sin's live stream today. She's on Patreon/Cynthia G. So the moderators, can you drop her link? You know the man say anything with emails. And I let me pull this up because I'm feeling petty. I'm not feeling petty, but like
No, please, because black women are bitter for what? Saying I don't feel like we should settle for low standards in relationships.
can we read this?
Several studies using government data have found that overall divorce rates are higher for couples who married out than those who married in. But here too, the patterns vary by the racial and gender characteristics of the couples. An analysis conducted a decade ago found that 10 years after they married, interracial couples had a 41 chance of separation or divorce compared with
Yeah.
A study which analyzed 2002 NSFG data found that although interracial marriages overall are more vulnerable to divorce, this reflects the experience of some but not all couples. It found that after 10 years of marriage, interracial marriages that were most vulnerable to divorce involve white females and non-white males, with the exception of white females and Hispanic white males, relative to white and white couples. Conversely, there is little or no difference between divorce rates amongst white men and non-white couples and white men and black women couples are actually substantially less likely than white and white couples to divorce by the 10th year of marriage.
So what that is saying is that black women and white men have the most successful marriage pairing of any group pairing, even white men and white women of any group. Black women, it says that black men, when they decide to date any group, they don't have marital success. So when I see comments like black women don't know how to keep a man, it's a very odd thing to say when statistically it seems, and I'm not saying this as a factual matter, it seems that black men cannot keep any women, and the most successful pairing of black men is with black women. But the most successful pairing of black women is with white men and actually any other group of men. So when people say black women can't keep a man, it's a weird statement to make because statistically that's not true.
Did I tell you the story about that musty man in my class when I was in high school?
Not the
No.
musty.
It was
We
this
need
black,
to read to them a super chat, but go ahead, tell us your story.
it was this black kid, and he used to sit beside this black girl in class, and we would always go to this class after gym, and there was always like this musty smell. And one day somebody pointed it out, and they said it's coming from, you know how I don't know what's wrong with high school kids, but you know they searching around the room like we gonna find it. That is like just thinking about the idea of being musty, and they put together a search party to figure out who it is. That is has my heart racing. But we figure out it's coming from there, and this black boy points to her and he's like, it was her fault. Everybody starts insulting her, making fun of her, calling her musty. She cries and leave the room. I have class with him the next period and it's still musty. He had class with someone, one of my other friends after that period, and they said it was still musty in there. So what we learned was he was saying that black girl was musty, but the must was following him around everywhere in every room. You think it's funny? This man can't afford deodorant. The must was following him around, but he was so content to point at her, and everyone else thought it was her until literally she left the room and it's only him. And now we can smell you, and we can smell that it's actually you. I think that's very emblematic of what's going on in the community, especially in these conversations.
Agreed. Let's read the super chats, please.
Life of Destiny. Thank you for the $9.99. In the same interview, he mentions she sends photos of herself folded into a pretzel. He seems disgusted by it. Most men would be turned on by this. I did see that part.
And the interviewer had to explain to him that she might. Oh, girl. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Pet.
that part too. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I was glad that the interviewer said something.
I wasn't glad that they. Thank you, Life of. I was not happy. I wish the interview never said it, so it could have been like under the because like. Girl, why you like she keeps sending me pictures of her doing all kinds of things, and he seemed genuinely disgusted. And I'm like,
it just seemed like he wanted to impress like the people who were interviewing with his just like ew,
yep.
girls type of thing. I don't know.
Even of friendships, I hate those friends who think they have to like step on you in order to elevate themselves in like around certain people. I don't trust those people, not in a relationship and not obviously not in a friendship. That's ridiculous. And I'm gonna drop the link. We're gonna drop the link because I want to hear from the men because I saw y'all down there defending him. From the men who believe he did nothing wrong. Drop a 1 if you're a man in the chat, or woman actually. If you're anyone in the chat, drop a 1 if you don't believe he did anything wrong. If you don't believe he did anything wrong, drop a 1. Anyway, the narrative that men need to lead is what needs to change. The women won't feel like they should play the background to a man. Yeah, that's what's happening. Because he want to lead, and girl, you want to drive, and you don't even have a license. Girl, they're in the prime of their career. Girl, no. Let's also keep in mind that a real man looks at more than her beauty. He also look inside her. All right, I'm not going to finish reading that. That's not, no.
He's saying like X-ray vision. I don't know.
Guy is a Superman.
He's not attracted to her. His comment about her sending him a picture of her doing a standing split disgusted him. He was like, ew, can you not?
Like, I'm just confused. Thank you, Sultry. You've been a member to us for 16 months. Jonathan was planning on using his third year to be giving to the community.
It's self-esteem versus self-worth.
I'm not sure Sassy psychology, but thank you. I think that they tend to wrap into one, but based on your name, I'm thinking you have some insight.
Not once did he call her beautiful. I was waiting for him to say that or similar when describing what he thought when he first saw her on the app, but no.
The thing is, like, people are like, oh my God, you should have said this and you should have said that. He seemed, Miss Sparkles, thank you so much for being a member for 7 months. People are saying he should have said this and he should have said that. And I'm sitting here confused because it's like, this is how they met. The way he's talking about it, it feels like from his perspective, she was chasing him.
Yeah, I mean, even I think she said something like, I saw what I want and I knew what I wanted and I went after it or something like that.
Which is also a conversation we should be having about like dismantling the patriarchy and women going after what they want. Because like even what's his name? ASAP said he wanted to be the bad bee. So like maybe it's like this is a new culture. Like maybe this is a new culture, girl. I don't know. Done with the patriarchy, feminism rule, or something. I don't know.
People have been mentioning the sassy man apocalypse. I haven't done the research yet, but I've heard about it. You're just single and bitter. He loves her because he cried when he walked down the aisle. Ryan Clark claims to be a Christian. This was an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. You're just single and bitter. He loves her because he cried when he walked down the aisle. Oh, that's what you just read. My bad. Thank you. Sorry.
I wish more Black women understood men will pursue marriage with you for reasons other than just love, motives such as status, money, access, or your connections.
Vitamin just sent me a thing with this man from Love and Marriage, Huntsville something. Girl, I don't watch none of these shows. Um, and he was like, because you're married doesn't make you a wife, and because I'm married don't make me a husband. And I'm so confused. I have so many questions, but I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Hiya, Themis, hiya, Thoths. Is that a thing, or am I trying to make fetch happen? Also, happy holidays and Merry Xmas break. Read Mr. Biles, Themis.
Oh, happy holidays, everyone. Love that y'all were here. I was gonna go live for y'all on Christmas, but I got swept away, and I was living. I was living. So apologies.
He wasn't even drafted. He played on the practice team and filled in one day and got to stay. There will be no Prime. Amazon Prime, maybe. Oof.
One thing y'all can do is read.
When people drag Simone for her hair, quote, not being done, aka kinky on her wedding, did he defend her? I don't recall. I don't recall either.
I don't recall either. Finn, Patreon. Patreon.com/Cynthia G. She went live today on Patreon and covered this.
Just contributing to your channel. Appreciate the Black men panel you had, even if it didn't go the way I hoped. LOL. How did it go? I caught the end, and it was. I assume it was better before the end because it usually towards the 6 hour mark things start to.
Well, my dear Orange Pill, I will be reviewing this on Friday. I'm not sure if Sin is going to be reviewing it with me, but I will be reviewing the panel we had, the men's panel on. Thank you, Orange Pill. All right. A level of single mother said to not do anything that I should that you're trying, so I should leave you alone. So I will. The women defending Orange Pill.
What's telling is that he has not released any corrective statement. No, it wasn't my intention to diminish my wife's accomplishments, or I love and respect my wife. Nothing. He meant what he said. Only she is posting.
Yep. Samantha, thank you for the super sticker. Karastoka, thank you for the super sticker. Go ahead.
Donation to the petition for blocking Petty's Wi-Fi. Look, whoever is in charge of the Wi-Fi, AT&T, Comcast, Xfinity, whoever, they're already doing that. Thank you for the $1, Sassy Psychology. We will split it 4 ways, just us 3 in YouTube.
I want to drop the link. I have more to say, but I feel like if I don't drop the link now, it's going to go too far. So do I drop the link for people who think there is nothing wrong? We all on here agree that the guy was wrong, right? Simone Biles' husband was wrong. All right. Did you see anyone? Because I asked the chat if there was anyone who would think he wasn't wrong, and I didn't look in the chat.
I did see someone who said that we were. They said so it's not enough that he plays in the NFL or something, but I know that comments like that tend to not come up to explain what they're trying to say or anything like that. So
I don't think anyone's gonna necessarily, because every time we drop the link, like there's never really like strong opposing views, but maybe there's someone who thinks that the reason he did this isn't malicious.
All right, Petty, you have the right to remove, because I can't do it. I'm a weak A, nothing A, B word. So I can't remove people because I feel terrible about it. But if people come up here and are not in defense of him, just remove them. This is in defense of him. So everyone who dropped a one and who wanted to explain how he's right and this is just a loving relationship and we're all haters, this is for you. I like all the wives coming out to defend the Giver, Mango Juice, Tiana Taylor, Cardi B, and Simone Biles. Period. All right. So y'all can hit that link. All right. He also said he didn't watch gymnastic. And there are tweets dating back to 2012 of him talking about Gabby winning gold, about Gabby again, he asked, why is there an Asian coach for the US girl gymnast? This man is dumb. This man is xenophobic, he's dumb, and he's uncultured.
He's misogynistic too. I think in a post that should have been about her gold medal, he was like, she needs to fix her teeth to be attractive or something similar to that. So
to Gabby Douglas, about Gabby Douglas. Yeah.
Like the one thing you can talk about is her inability to do the Dougie. I feel like as a Black community, we're all aligned on that. But he chose instead to say, why is there an Asian coach for the USA girl gymnast?
When you sit up there and ask, why is there an Asian coach for the US girl gymnast? We have a problem.
Yeah.
What race do you think?
Oh, he's not dumb. That is this is an idiotic this is an idiotic question.
Real quick, what race do you think he wanted to see coaching?
Right. Exactly.
Someone said he was in high school, as if I care. What part of so he don't know Americans can be Asians in high school? Is that what is that he was too young to know that?
We've seen the education rates in the community. Why are y'all doing this? Y'all seen it amongst men generally in America, and especially amongst Black men. So why are we pretending? Why do y'all want to be lied to and pretend like they would know that just because they're in high school?
Like, the fact that that's funny actually. The fact that I will forgive the fact that he can't spell gymnast. I will forget. I wasn't even going to bring this up. I just said it because I'm saying I'm going to forgive it. But I need to let y'all know that he misspelled the word. But I'm not here to fight him on that. I'm here to figure out why you believe that an Asian American or an Asian cannot be coaching the US team. And
hopefully he knows now. Hopefully he knows now that doesn't make any sense. As
for people in the chat talking about he was just so young. Yeah, no.
You know who was young? Gabby. When he made those comments about her. She was young. I don't care how old he was. Do y'all actually care that he was 17 or however old at the time? I don't.
Someone said 90% of the NFL can't read. Y'all be making these stats up. Y'all just be making these stats up.
How are they going to fact check us? Do you think they're going to go and read it? No. We can say whatever we want. We know he anyway. I don't have to talk about literacy or spelling. That would be rude. That would be rude. So I don't see that anyone joined to I thought there were some men in the comments who were saying that we had it wrong maybe, or that they wanted to try to defend him, but that creates a paradox in my mind, because when you come up, the reason in my opinion that men have to fight so hard for Simone Biles' husband is because he's not fighting himself, right? You don't see men fighting like this for Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson doesn't make this a question. Will Smith doesn't even make this a question, interestingly enough, if you want to use
the
him.
defenders are here. Wait, Kenny had me crying laughing. If he referred to unhouse dating one more time, I would have needed a kidney transplant. My side was hurting so bad. Kenny and Petty are the same people in my mind.
No. I like all the why. Oh, I think we read that one.
All right, y'all ready?
People are calling.
Yeah, Lana, go ahead. Oh, Kimberly, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate for Jonathan, for Mr. Biles. Okay. And so
See, no, no.
no, that's what you wanted, right? You wanted someone who
No,
was,
I don't want the devil's advocate. I want someone who truly believes that he, because I believe everyone knows he's wrong. And I believe people are lying when they say they don't believe he's wrong.
okay. So hear me out, right? So I think the same thing, right? We all believe that, right? But the way I was going to say the reason why I said devil's advocate is because I think he didn't want to make it seem obvious that that's what intrigued him, is the fact that she was Simone Biles. So he keeps on putting the story out there, how she pursued him. He didn't know who she was. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
no, his whole lying about he didn't know who she was because he doesn't
Right,
want to seem like a gold digger. Yeah.
right, exactly. But also maybe he feels like that's protecting her in a
No,
way
none of
because
it.
she didn't get someone who was, just only coming after her or approaching her because they knew who
How
she
would
was.
that be protecting her?
Women know what I mean. Women who have money or, have a certain background, if men are pursuing them for their status, it's frowned upon. So he's kind of making it seem like, oh, I didn't even know who she was. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like that. So he doesn't make her look, like, like that. Like she was somebody who was just being used because he didn't even know who she was.
Yeah, but if you believe she's being used, how is him lying about him not knowing who she is, protecting her?
Because how could he be trying to use her if he didn't even know who she was?
Yeah, so he's lying to her about not knowing who she was. How is that protecting her?
He's lying to us
How is that protecting her?
because he's making it seem as though it couldn't have been that was not a factor.
Yeah, so he's lying. How is that protecting her?
Well, we all know that was a factor, right? Because the
Oh,
first thing
I get what you're saying. I think. Are you saying that
so
he
that
did
was
that
his covering her.
so that people wouldn't come to her like, look, he's using you, so she could be like, look, he didn't even know who I was.
How is that
Right.
protecting her? Are y'all telling me that she's isolating her, lying to her, tricking her, but that it's supposed to be protecting her? How is that protecting her?
Because publicly, in a way, it does protect women who have more than the person that they're with. If the person
The
can make it
question is,
seem like I didn't even know she had any money or I didn't even know who she was, it
yeah,
wasn't
the
even,
question is
even
how.
though he's lying,
No, but
how?
you said this was protecting her. I'm trying to figure out how it, because I'm trying to figure out how
Because
this is
women, it's
protecting.
frowned upon for women to be someone dating you because of your status and your money.
I don't think that's protecting her, but I get what you're saying because I think you're saying that it's providing her like an out. If someone says that, she can be like, no, that's not true. He didn't know who I was. So it
Right.
couldn't be that. So it's like providing her something to say, I guess. But I still don't think that's
It's not giving what it was supposed to give. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, let me play at devil's advocate, because maybe he thought that is covering her by
Wait,
saying,
one
I
second,
didn't
one
even know who
second.
she was. So that
Orally
couldn't have
said,
been a
wait,
fact.
one second. Orally said, is it really impossible that he didn't know her? Yes, it is absolutely
It
impossible.
was definitely
I
impossible.
will bet.
Because here's the thing. Let me tell
Wait,
you, I thought about the
one
whole thing.
second. Wait,
Okay,
one
sweetheart.
second. I will bet a lot on this that he knew who she was. And if he did know who she was, he's absolutely lying when he said she messaged him, he went and looked at her page, she realized that she had a lot of following on Instagram, and so he decided to respond to her. If
and
you
At
look
didn't
that
he
at
point, he
say
Googled
wait,
her.
can I
wait,
interject, please?
one second.
He
If
had
he
to
looked
Google
her
her.
up and saw how much followers she had, he's on a dating website for celebrities. You're gonna tell me he didn't go look her up then?
He certainly did. And that's why
I
he
don't
was
believe
lying.
nothing that comes out of this man. This man was watching gymnastics in 2012. He was all here talking about Gabby Douglas. So at this point, talking about Gabby just need to get them bottom teeth fixed, and then her smile will be cool. You are not about to tell me this man wasn't up here looking through the roster of gymnasts. And even if you don't watch gymnastic, the fact that he knows who Gabby is and he's in tune with the world they are in, he knows who Simone Biles is. He's lying. Ain't no way.
He's definitely lying. But the point is, maybe he thinks that's in her favor for him to lie. Because
Again,
if the
how?
first
I
that
you
comes
keep
out his
saying that,
mouth
and I
is he
keep
knew
asking
exactly
you.
who she was, but
You
we are
keep
all
saying.
looking at. Hold on, but
You
let me
keep
just
saying
finish.
no. You keep saying that, and I'm trying to ask how.
I'm trying to explain it,
All
Damon.
right, you will go uninterrupted for a minute. Sorry.
So what I'm saying is, if people like Tony Gaskins was saying, like he's the type of guy who is like, looks wise, superior, right? And so off top, if people are viewing their couple where there's an imbalance, right? People do that with couples, period, right? So they look at him as, let's say, I don't look at it that way. I think she's a beautiful girl. That's just me. But let's just say that people view him as the better looking person in the couple, right? And so then he's covering her because then she did pursue him. That's a fact. That's not denied. So now he has to cover her because everyone knows that typically if he was in a different position, she's not the person that he would have pursued. So he's making it seem like now, okay, so the factor me, saying something back to her, it had absolutely nothing to do with her being famous. He may not have said it was because he was attracted to her, but he, in his young mind, could have thought that's what he was implying
But
by not saying
he's
that he
on a
was
dating
pursuing
he's on
her.
a dating site for famous people, so he would have known she was famous.
Right, exactly. But what I'm saying is they're all famous. That's the
But
whole
he's
thing. It's
not.
a for
He's
famous
really not
people.
famous.
Well, it's relative.
He's
Yeah.
not famous, not
It's
even, I
relative.
would say even relative, because in the interview he spoke about how he and Simone were going out on dates initially, and how people just kept coming up to him talking about, here, hold the camera and take our picture, ignoring him so they could get with Simone.
It's certainly
And how
relative though,
new
because
that
if
was
I
to
was on
him.
the app,
Hmm?
if I was on the app, I'm not a celebrity whatsoever, right? So celebrity and their circles or the people they can be around is, it's totally different than someone like myself. So that's why I say it's relative, because it could have something to do with access, connections, just their circles, period.
All right, so I didn't quite get the best I got from how you were saying he could have been protecting her is that he didn't want her to look like he didn't want to seem like the person who was going after her for money. And so, in him not wanting to be seen that way, it protected her because it didn't seem like she she was just being used for her money. I didn't remove her. Petty, did you remove her?
No.
All right. Well, Lana, go ahead.
Hi. I just want to say 2 disclaimers. I'm driving in Hawaii. I have very shitty connection. I'm sorry.
I'm
Second,
sorry, but also wait, are you safe? I don't want you to be driving and like not focused. Right? Hello. Anyway, ni hao. Ni hao ma? All right, Lana, I guess come in when you can come in. The esoteric, I think this is the esoteric therapist.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy holidays. Thank you for having me up. Yes, I'm going to come on his team and defend him. And these are going to be my three factors right here. Number one, regardless, prior to that interview, I've seen each one of them talk about, and especially him talk about when they first got together, he was very influential in being with her when she was going through that trial with that sexual assault case with the gymnasts, with the other gymnasts and the training coach and everything. And he was right there with her to console her. And he also mentioned that was one of the things that he really adored her for is that
I have a
how
question. I'm pausing you because I feel like that's a bit out of scope. The question is, did he
Mhm.
do anything wrong in the interview?
No.
All right, go ahead.
No.
The
Now
interview.
let's start with the main thing people are talking about is, well, the prize part. Now, could he have said it a little bit differently? Well, of course, you could say anything differently. However, he was not being malicious about it. And the funny thing is, that was only a small part of that whole interview. The rest of it, he was bigging her up and explaining to people how much he appreciates her and loves her, and how they all stick together and helped each other with their trauma
Can
and
I
everything like that.
can I
I'm sorry.
quickly
Go ahead.
pause you and ask which part of the interview that is? I reviewed the
Um,
interview twice specifically because after seeing that clip, people were saying if you watch the full context of the interview, he's actually
mhm.
defending her a lot. I didn't see that. What I did see was him mentioning the type of mental and emotional labor that she does for him that he sees as a benefit to him. But I
And
wouldn't.
by the way, in response to Petty, this is the video. Let me know where I need to go, and I will put it there so we can hear it.
All right, it should be towards the end. A little bit. Let's say. All right. Let's start there. We'll see what he's talking about.
They had all them scouts there and everything. And then my career pivot will have to be, I started the year out on practice squad 2021. I think I played 7 games. So I was on practice squad for the first 8 weeks of the season. Then they signed me. And I played like 3-4 games at special teams. And then Justin Reed, that's my boy, he gets a concussion against Seattle. And so I played the whole second half of the Seattle game. So I'm still new to this. So I'm like, man, this Russell Wilson, like, that's how I was still thinking, And then the next game, Jacksonville, this is my first NFL start, man. Like, I'm nervous, man. My family nervous.
Excuse me. Can we pause this for 1 second?
It's like,
Okay. Also right here. Okay. Now it's off of Simone. This man, hey, I mean, this man has accomplished, some great things. He's not out there doing dumb stuff. We haven't heard of him out here, doing malicious acts or anything. I mean, this man has accomplished something that only 2% of men can do, and he seems like a good guy to me. But if we're trying to find that part where he was giving her accolades, I think go a little bit further down if you don't mind.
I feel like you're just going to try to make me go through all of this, and I will tell you that I've rewatched this video 3 times,
Okay.
and he bigs her up in the aspect of cooking for him, in the aspect of being tough and strong. Yeah. And so my question, you said it's a very small part, but it is the part that we're talking about. I'm trying to figure out from your perspective if what he did to her in terms of how he talked about her, what he said in terms of their interaction highlighted that there was something wrong. And you said no.
No. Yes, I still say no, because now in the grand scheme of things, hey, there's some people that don't even know who Taylor Swift is. Now, I'm not, I don't know if he
So
knows
you
her or
believe
didn't know
him.
her.
So you
I'm
believe
sorry.
him that he didn't know her.
I'm gonna take his word for it. Yes. I mean, I
No,
can't say that
I'm not
he's
saying
lying.
I didn't
Yes.
say you should take his word or not take his word. I'm asking
Yes.
about your gut. So you believe that he didn't know who she was?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
I do believe that. I do believe
Good.
that.
Good.
A lot of people do not know who Simone Biles is. I mean, they just don't. Another thing he said, he was, the context of the conversation was, okay, so you consider yourself the prize. It's not like that he just up there and just said, hey, yeah, I'm the prize. No, he was asked a question and put on the spot. So he looked, and you can tell his reaction was, how do I answer this? But I only have a couple of
Do you
seconds.
think you are the prize?
I'm sorry?
Do you think black men are the prize in relationships?
Well, I'm married, and
Are you
no,
the
I went.
prize?
I went. No. My wife. No. My wife is my prize. But I mean, you probably need to ask her. Am I the prize to her? She might say yes, but I can't
Yeah,
answer
but
that.
that's the difference. They didn't ask Simone Biles.
Yeah.
They asked him. And the
Okay.
reason you are uplifting your wife right now is the reason why he should have uplifted her. And the fact that you can uplift your wife, but you can excuse him not
hmm
uplifting her, great. I mean, I'm not
Well,
pushing back. I'm just letting you
yeah,
talk because
no,
I don't
no,
have
no.
anything.
I understand, but I still don't think he's. I mean, he's not wrong for that. No, no, he's not wrong for that. That's just how he feels. But he's not wrong. I mean, saying something wrong is like just degrading her. I didn't see anywhere where he degraded her.
So
I
here,
don't.
all right. I mean, I'm not going to fight you on your opinion. If
Well,
you
no, I would
believe
like to hear
that
you. I would like to hear your side.
no, there's no my side. I actually think more men should come out and be honest. If he's being honest, I think more men should be honest about how they feel about the woman that they're in a relationship with. And I do
hmm
think women should listen more to men about their feelings and what they believe the relationship is and how they show love when they get an opportunity to either uplift the women or degrade women. I do actually believe more women should let men speak about their experiences and how they feel about the women in their life and listen, like actually listen, and not shame these men into saying what they want them to say.
Now, and furthermore, I want to answer this one. You said, "Do we?" Because you asked me this question earlier, but I want to put this on to Simone Biles and her husband. Is he her prize? Yes, that's her prize, and I'm sure she would
Obviously,
tell.
obviously he's her prize. She went after him head
Okay,
first.
so why are people pushing back on that? If that's her prize,
I
that's her
think
prize.
That's
when
how I
people,
open. That is literally how I open the show. I don't know why you were. I agree with you. I don't know why people are mad. He said he's the prize. She acted like he's the prize, and therefore, in her life, in their relationship, he's the prize. It's that simple.
Now, let me ask you this, because Petty, you were talking earlier. I don't know if you were serious or not. When y'all were stating something on the line of, "Hey, should we shame her out of this relationship?" And y'all kind of agreed with that. Now I have to ask you, why would you want to shame her out of that relationship?
The same reason you would uplift your wife, and he decided to uplift himself.
um, I,
He has a lot of growing to do, and that there were grown men. How you? I'm thinking you're older than him. There are
Yes,
grown
I'm 50
men.
years old.
Yeah, there are grown men sitting around with this younger guy, and instead of teaching him how to be a husband, they decided to laugh at her with her there while he's talking about how she chased him and how he is the prize. Instead of sitting him down and teaching him about how to uplift a woman and how to be a husband, if there is a way to be a husband, he decided, or rather, they decided to laugh with him at her expense. That is ridiculous.
But I agree with you. But however, that was a sports interview. That was not a
I
relationship
couldn't tell it
interview.
was. We couldn't tell because right there in that moment, it just devolved into it. When a grown man sit up there in front of a young man in a relationship, in a marriage, and say, "Would it be fair to say you didn't want Simone Biles? You as a husband should check
Oh
whoever
yeah,
said that to you."
I definitely agree with that. I
Well,
do,
he didn't.
because
So
nobody would ever say, "Hey, yeah, no, nobody would ever tell me that about my wife."
yeah.
Like, what?
So he
The hell are
opened
you?
the door
Yeah,
for him.
no. Oh, hell
He
no.
he opened the door for complete disrespect of his wife. I don't know why the back chat is filling up unless y'all all agree that this man didn't do anything wrong. Like I don't understand it. It is only for people who believe that Simone Biles, not Simone's Biles husband, didn't do anything wrong. So you can admit then at least that him allowing people to say and not pushing back that it is okay to say you didn't want Simone Biles. You understand how that's not okay.
It's not okay, but it's not wrong. That's just the way he answered it. What's wrong? I mean, to me, what would be considered wrong would be blatant disrespect. If you want to say this was backhanded disrespect or whatever, well, that's subjective.
So
But
back
I
then,
didn't see anything. I didn't see anything
wait.
disrespectful. I really didn't.
So you are, from your perspective, this is backhanded disrespect. That's what you just said, and you are saying you don't see anything wrong with backhanded disrespect. Is that what
No,
you
no,
said?
no. Let me clarify. I said
Wait, no.
whether.
Wait, before you clarify, you
Yeah.
literally just said this is not straight up disrespect, it is backhanded disrespect after you said that you saw nothing wrong with it. So are you saying backhanded disrespect is fine? There's nothing wrong with backhanded disrespect.
My apologies. I don't think you heard me. I said whether this was backhanded disrespect or upfront disrespect. That's the way he answered it. That's why I said whether, and I said that could be
So you
subjective.
don't think this is backhanded disrespect? You think this is just completely fine then?
Of what he said. If
Mhm.
yes, I'm sticking. Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty. If she's cool with it, if she likes it, I love it.
Then why did you bring up backhanded disrespect?
Thank you.
Because I did say that's subjective to whomever wants to deem
No,
it
it's
that
not.
way.
I'm
So
talking
not for
about
me.
you
Okay, all right.
so you were saying that's fine. Your wife could just say that, and you would just be okay with that happening to you and your wife.
Say what? What he said about anything?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so why wouldn't it be fine with you?
I mean, that's just not the way I talk, or that's not the way I convey things. And plus, a lot of it might have to do with he's young, so how they talk, it might mean something different to whoever's listening.
It
So if
sounds
this
like
was
you see the problem with it, but you have reasons for why. So you're saying it's not a problem, but it's clear that you see the problem.
Yeah.
You've mentioned it multiple times. Even at the beginning, you said something like, what did you say at the beginning? I was trying to remember while you were talking, but
What
you've
part?
mentioned on several occasions, like you wouldn't do that. Oh, you said he could have said it differently. Like you've said a couple of things that indicate that you see the problem, but
Well,
I see that you're
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I see that or like see reasons for it, which is maybe why you're like, I don't see the issue, but it's clear that you do see the issue.
Well, let me clarify that. I see how people could. I see how people could see it that way. However, I don't. But
You
I can.
do,
I can.
because you
But I
said you would
understand.
never.
Okay, all right. I
You
wouldn't do it. No, I
Why
wouldn't do
not?
it. No.
Why?
I mean, that's just not what I do. That doesn't mean I'm gonna condemn someone else for doing that because
No,
hey,
you don't have to condemn him or anything, but like,
okay,
why
well then
would
it's
you
not a
do it?
problem. It's not a problem. It's not. I'm standing on that.
All right, so it's not a problem. It might be a
No,
backhanded insult, but it's fine. It's not a problem. You wouldn't do
it's
it, but it's
subjective.
also fine. It is
It's
subjective. You don't know.
it's
Do you know what
subjective.
the
Yes.
Do you know what the reasonable man standard is? I think this
I'm
is quite
sorry. What?
clear. Do you know what a reasonable man standard is of
What
an
is
Allah?
what is the reasonable man standard? No, I don't.
No, the idea of the reasonable man standard. Because when you keep saying it's subjective, this
Mm-hmm.
removes your ability to make a judgment call. And if you're unwilling to call out bad behavior as bad behavior, even though you've said it multiple times that it's bad behavior, you've indicated that you wouldn't do this. You've indicated you wouldn't say that. You've indicated that him allowing people to disrespect their relationship in the way that they did and not pushing back and checking them in the moment is bad. You've overtly said this, and then when pushed on making a judgment, you decide, oh, it's subjective, I don't want to say it. So, I mean, I appreciate the conversation. I actually
Thank
really
you.
do. But
Thank you so much.
you can have your final thoughts, and then we'll move on to some other people.
Thank you. No, I just want to hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for the conversation. And hey, peace and blessings to everybody. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Question. Sorry. Are you still there? Oh, no. All right. Karina, do y'all think that he told Becky that he dated, that he is the catch up? Absolutely not.
Famous, I had to charge my iPad. Just wait 1 second.
All right, you want to go in the back and for me?
I'm here. Wait, I'm here. So we had a lovely devil's advocate start off for us. But I want you guys to know I'm standing on business. The real devil was here. Guys, I support him 100%. I would like to know what you think is wrong with what he said.
Wait, no, that's what I called you up. You said you support him. Why?
No, so like, I'm struggling to find what's wrong with what he said because...
We just had an hour and 30 minutes of us talking. So
Fair enough. So basically, it was just that I felt like from one red dime to another.
You played
he was being honest. No, wait. He was being honest about like how like women who are well-to-do and etc. can get verification on Raya, This is how you bag yourself a red dime. So I feel like he's being a good guy by giving everyone the playbook and saying, they know what to do now.
Period.
Period.
No pushback.
Any pushback? Okay? Can I see anyone? No?
Y'all not gonna play on my line all night. That's what y'all not gonna do.
I love you, Miss. I'm gonna
go. Love you back. Lana, are you able to speak now?
I pulled over. Thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say, disclaimer, I'm not technically condoning, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but something struck me about the way both of them have handled this. What if he, okay, what he said was shitty, but what if he was joking and the joke got away from him because he didn't realize how poorly it was delivered? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
this is
I
one
can
of
see
the.
that. Like, I didn't know her.
Isn't there something called like negligence where you can be charged with something even if you didn't intend to do it? Have you ever heard of Jonathan Majors? Another Jonathan.
I mean, I'm in law school. I'm perfectly aware. That's why I said I still think it's shitty. Like, I don't approve. But
The way I wouldn't even use negligence, I would use reckless. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I don't have any further argument. I just wanted to pose the question because I have no idea how to defend it, to be honest.
No, in fairness, I do actually believe there's a big part of this was a joke. And like they were joking around and he wanted to be one of the boys, right? And part of the problem is you don't use your wife as the butt of whatever joke you're doing. You also, as the grown men around him, you don't. It almost, when she walked in, by the way, it was full respect. All of the men in that room shook her hand and they were like, it almost looked like they were in kind of awe. There was some level of respect. He, in their questioning, changed the temperature of the room so much so that one of them men actually believed it was appropriate to stand up there with him looking how he looked, talking about, oh, would it be fair to say you didn't want Simone Biles? At that point, you should have shut all of it down.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you think that because he didn't shut it down, that makes it more likely it wasn't a joke? Or do you think he I
think he's a wannabe. He's a wannabe and he's trying to fit in. And she, unfortunately, it's not, from his perspective, worth protecting. And Simone Biles can be online all she wants, liking all kinds of comments, how she wants. But at the end of the day, the only reason why anyone has anything to say about your relationship is because your man decided to throw you under the bus that he was driving. No one else did that. He did. So when you're out here talking about y'all want me to be this and y'all want me to be that, know that it is your husband's fault for putting you in the situation that you're currently in. No one else. Absolutely. It is your red dime's fault.
Maybe more women should take the Jonathan Majors approach. Not the two charges, but specifically the part where, I don't know, just get up and say, I'm a great woman. What would Russell do? Do you think Russell would do this? I think more women would benefit if they did that.
Girl, I don't know who Dolly Parton's husband is. More husbands. Girl, Mariah Carey's boyfriend just came out and released the whole thing about them breaking up. And I'm sitting there like, girl, I didn't even know Mariah Carey was in a relationship.
Me either.
How are you announcing, girl, why are you publicly announcing a breakup? We didn't know you were in a relationship, girl. We don't need to know. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Like, what are you doing?
I thought you said goodbye to me.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you. There's some more people behind the scenes, so I'll add them.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, Lana.
Thank you. Thanks for having me out.
Good luck in law school. I heard that.
I'm like not enrolled right now. I just moved states. It's kind of crazy, but that's for another time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
All right. Bye. All right. Let's add Overlist and Nana. and then we'll add one more. Nikki. Before we start, let's read some of this. Wake Up says his ex were a white woman, so no, he wouldn't have chosen her. She chose him. He knew who she was. There's no way they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to put down another man and I'm going to believe that he said he didn't know who she was, even though she's the most decorated gymnast. And he seemed to be very interested in gymnastics to the point where he's concerned that there's an Asian woman coach. The point at which you know the coach, the point at which you know the coach of a sport, you're not going to tell me that you don't know the most decorated gymnast. Y'all play too much. I'm not even going to do this. Y'all, men, and this is what I found in the men's panel, y'all just defending foolishness at this point. Y'all just defending foolishness. Would this 50-year-old caller want his daughter in this marriage dynamic? Afro, I should have read your question. I was going to ask him if he would like his son to behave the way this man is behaving, because he wouldn't do it. He doesn't want to do it. And in him talking about how bad it is from his perspective to do it and that it's subjective, he knows it's wrong. I told you, these men know what he did was wrong. You've been a member for 17 months, Afro Butterfly. Thank you so very much. Black men stay on code, take notes. I think we should let black men speak more who are in relationships. The reasonable standard of a man is to respect and protect. Thank you, by the way. I was talking about how we interpret things morally as good or bad. Outside of saying subjective, we can literally say, as a society, we don't agree that this is a good thing. Not, oh my God, it's subjective, I can't answer. What? Demon thought he ate the bus that he was driving line. It's giving Oprah, were you silenced?
Yeah, do you think these men on the same I'm actually checking these channels and I'm searching their channels for any mention of Will Smith and Jada. Do you think these men are online talking about we need to shut up about Will and Jada? It doesn't matter what we think as long as they're happy. And he's out here defending his wife. So why are we men mad? We're just bitter. Do you think they're actually on their channel saying that?
You better eat down, Patty. I don't know what was in that Frosted Flakes you ate before you came live.
Do you think that man would come up here and say? Do you think that man would come up here and say, me personally, I wouldn't let Jada talk to me like that. But as long as Will is happy, we should uplift him. And what did she do wrong? No, they wouldn't. That's why I don't even like the conversation, because it feels like people are playing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Men are playing.
By the way, please, people, stop asking they love attacking they love Vari. She was joking, and I like those kind of drag. When you say Themis thought he ate, or he's like she knows me enough to know that that's like a drag of me that I would appreciate. Who became a member. Thank you. All right, Orlis, go ahead.
Who?
Yeah. Oh, hey everyone. Hi. How you Themis?
Hi.
So yeah, my opinion is like, this is how I feel about the situation, honestly. Like, just before I heard everyone's opinion on it, and then I was kind of like reading too much or projecting too much on it, on face value, I did not I felt like he was just being honest. Now, do I felt like he was not necessarily, he should have more coofed? I felt like he should have taken more control of the interview as far as like what he was comfortable in speaking about, because I felt like it's so many times that it came back on Simone. And I'm like, this is not a Simone interview. This is supposed to be his interview. But then I had to think, why the hell is he interviewing or anyone would be interested unless Simone is a part of that package? So I understand why the dynamic of their relationship was constantly brought up. I think they're both young, honestly. Like, there's a couple of mishaps I feel like they both made, but generally speaking, I think he was honest. I think anyone could look at that, and even how he speaks generally about her, he's just not physically attracted to her. I feel like their marriage to me is a modern day arranged marriage, so to speak, or sugar mama, so to speak, type of situation where it's like, hey, she's supportive, she's gainfully employed. I'm not about to have employment soon. Like, he got to do what he got to do. It's winter time. Like, people got to do what they got to do.
Oralist, what makes you say that he's not physically attracted to her?
The two white. I'm kidding.
No, I'm not comparing it to his exes because I think there's photos of his exes, and yes, Makeup Slay said that they're both white, and which is true. The ones I've seen, they're white or not black by far. But I just he's just not feeling her. You like I don't like we all most
But
of us
like, what
have
makes
been.
you say he's not physically attracted to her?
I think we live in a certain system where men are socialized to chase women they like. So the fact that he wasn't chasing someone implies to me that he doesn't really like them, especially physically.
Not, but
Men
even
will
his
chase
body
women.
language when he was there, like I did not know I didn't know she was even in the room, and she was sitting right next to him, and so it could have been how the way they cut it or what have you, but there was no impression that I got that one she was even in the room until they
If you
showed
tell
her.
me,
But
okay, if it not UK, but like if you're asking how, the truth is, to be fair, we actually don't know. That's the
Right.
honest answer.
I think that like
However, wait.
saying that.
How and ever, when you say my wife is sending me pictures of her bending herself into pretzels and sending it to me, and you don't know why, and you seem disgusted in the way that you are expressing it to other men, and someone else is having to tell you that, oh, maybe she's trying to get you in the mood or whatever. I feel like at that point you're not that into her because you
yeah,
need
I
to
thought
move
that was
beyond
one of the
that.
obvious things too, but I felt like I don't know, maybe he just weird like that. I don't know. Maybe he just weird.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think he's feeling her like that. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not necessarily compatible. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe she's the 80. Maybe everything else makes up the 80. So, but either way, she's gonna be good. I'm a big fan of Simone. I could see why she went for him. I think they look good together. Like they look cute. They look like a cute couple. They look happy together. But that interview, oh, and understanding his just where he's standing in his own career. And to me, to be honest with you, he doesn't seem ambitious or self-motivated or that's a wreck in itself. But they're young. So
You said he don't seem ambitious or self-motivated.
no, he doesn't, but he's young though. Like I feel like men and women, I feel like in the Black community, we can come from the same like upbringing, like the same community and everything. And it's just drastic how different people are, like the genders are in certain communities. And and he just had a hard life. But then you look at Simone, she also had a hard life too. Her mother was an addict. She got adopted. She was in foster care. Like this woman ain't. I mean, like it wasn't like a ticket for her. Like she went through probably similar struggles, if not more struggles than him. But I don't think work
So,
ethic
question: how
wise
would
they
you
make sense together.
feel? So you would be okay if you were in her shoe and that was your man.
Let me be honest. Don't do me like that, Phoenix. Don't do me.
No,
let me say that. That's because I'm not trying to put myself because I wouldn't be in that. First off, let's be honest. I think a lot of women are coming to themselves and they're at different phases in their own development, including their standards and expectations. I'm a little bit on the older side, so I've been there, done that. So this to me is like it was a red flag from the gate. Like especially when they call themselves red bones. I never heard a guy be called a red or yellow bone, whatever. I never heard men refer to themselves like that. So that was very interesting to me. So it's just like, but I feel like she likes that and she's defending her man. And I feel like they're in counseling. And I think if the counseling is if they stick with it, the individual and the couple counseling, they're going to be okay. I don't think this
Someone asked
interview in
me.
itself is to do or die. Yeah.
Someone asked me if his celebrity and status as an athlete surpasses Simone Biles. Do I think he would stay with her? Thankfully, I never have to worry about that. So. I
mean, they said
it. That's not something I worry about. I mean,
I don't know if you heard, but pretty soon people are going to be calling her his wife.
Simone out of pocket for that. Ain't nobody. Simone Biles is out of pocket for that because
she's trying to stand by her man.
We don't even know this man's name. How we gonna call you Miss whatever? Like Miss, what's his name? Oh, ain't nobody gonna call you no Miss Yellowbone. No one is gonna do that. No
Yeah,
one's gonna call you
I just hope that
retard.
she's protecting herself. I don't want to see her as one of those
Do you think
celebrities
she
that
got a
got took to the
prenup?
cleaners.
Do you think she got a prenup?
I hope she did. Just because there's so many women celebrities in music and acting that spoke about their,
Do you think? Do you think in the way that he described their relationship and how she went after him, do you think that she has the negotiating power in that relationship to demand a prenup that protects her assets?
even if she didn't, I believe she has a strong support system and team behind her that would be looking out for her interest.
So you think he signed a prenup?
Yeah.
All right.
Look,
We
we'll
don't
know.
know.
We'll know if they ever separate. We'll know for sure then. But
Look, I would be very surprised because I don't know. I would be very surprised because in a relationship, in the way that most negotiation goes, when you don't have leverage, when you are the one chasing, it is very difficult to put your foot down and demand certain things, including respect and protecting your asset, particularly if he's in the relationship because you are who you are. It is odd and unlikely, but I hope to God you're right, that it wasn't her choice and someone forced him into signing something that protects at least some of her assets. Because, girl, anyway.
Honestly, I feel like he could believe he's a prize all he wants, and maybe he is her prize. But at the end of the day, I think they both know she's the ticket. He's not going nowhere too far anywhere without her
I
or
mean,
being associated with her.
if he thinks she's the ticket, he not gonna sign nothing. But
you know what?
I don't know, but I will see. I hope I'm really hoping I'm wrong on this. I hope there is some because like she's like forever, and she's like, oh my god, we're in this together forever, and I'm like, yeah, that's cute, but that prenup though, there could be a postnup, girl. If you're listening, it's gonna be hard to negotiate a postnup, but like, if you don't got a prenup, please get. I don't know. I'm tired of seeing these really successful rich black women marry down and lose it all. Not all, but like lose so much. He said he is a hell of a safety, but he'll never be as good a safety as she is a gymnast. They were thinking Mr. Biles. They knew he was lying. Let's get your final word so we can go to Nana
Oh
and
yeah.
Mika.
So my final word is I just think he was being honest. I felt like a part of him getting on that show or being invited was a bundle deal. And I felt like maybe he felt like his
Wait,
light was
let's get off my screen. Absolutely not. We're not into this. Did you just say for him to get on a podcast, it was a bundle deal?
No, I do feel like that. I felt like again, she's the ticket. I feel like they would not have known him or been interested in him unless she was a part of that interaction. And I felt like every time they kept bringing her in, that took away from what he believed was the purpose of the interview, which was him. So I feel like some of that energy might have stemmed off from that because she wasn't even in the camera most of the time, but yet she was the subject a good amount of the time. So
Girl, apparently they were there to talk about a tackle. Thank you, Aurelis. By the way, when
no
I took it
problem.
off my
Thank
screen,
you.
I was joking. I didn't want it. It came out harsher, but I just
No,
was
you're
joking.
great. Okay. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye. Nana, go ahead.
Hey, Themis.
Hey.
How you doing this evening?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm getting eaten up by the chat, but such is life. Such is life.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes sometimes. Hi, Patty. Hi, Kay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so I have a perspective that I want to share about it. So then I was listening to the guy, and one thing I think may have been happening, I think he's like 28, right? So that thing that he said about, I think that man is always the prize. I suspect that, so like maybe he's been on the internet for the past 10 years, listening to those perspectives of the red pill community, where that's kind of the conversation. So he may really have had that kind of that perspective. what I suspect may have been happening is that he was trying to keep the men there from being jealous of him because he was with Simone Biles. And I think that maybe he was trying to keep them from being jealous of him for being with Simone Biles because they invited him there to talk about his career. And he wanted them to go easy on him. He didn't want them to dog him about that. So I think maybe that's why he was trying to be humble and kind of downplay everything.
What part of that whole interview was him being humble?
Huh?
At what point was that humility that you saw? 'Cause I ain't seen it.
Okay, I'm sharing a perspective. Just stay with me for a moment.
Where did this perspective come from? You can't be throwing out humility.
You know what? Every time I come on here, it's only because you asked the question and I'm responding to it.
All right, go ahead. Go off. Go. My bad. Let me sit this one out. Let me let you cook.
Okay, look, I'm trying. Here we go.
The food is burning, but I'm gonna let you cook.
I mean, feel free to chime in. Just let me get through this part. Let me see. So, what was I saying? Yeah, because he didn't want them to dog him out about his career. And so, remember when that guy? And so, I'm familiar with it because I kind of know, because you know I'm cute things. You don't know how cute I am, but baby, I am cuteness. Okay. And so, what happens sometimes, is that the women around me start to get a little jealous. And so what I try to do is calm everybody down. Okay, let's all just calm down. Okay. I'm not better than you. You cute too, is what I be trying to tell people. So I suspect that may have been where he was coming from. Because he is a nice looking guy. And remember that guy said that us as two, what do you call themselves? Light-skinned dimes. No, we know that man was
Pretty red dime, yellow bone, light skin, red bone, any of the above you can use. That's what they said.
All of that, but we know that man was ugly. We just gonna keep it above, right? So what he was doing was he was trying to big up himself by associating himself with Mr. Biles. So this is the dynamic that I suspect may have been going on. So when the guy said, let me see, that was let's go here. So yeah, he was trying to seem humble. Now when the guy said, "Oh, so you didn't want Simone Biles," is what you're saying. I think that his response was a defensive response, and what that response was saying to him is like, once again, I don't think I'm better than you, so don't come at me, right? So I think that's why he was trying to downplay it, still trying to seem like he was all that because he was cuter than that other guy. He was the cutest guy in there, but still want to be humble about the thing. Now I got one more thing I want to say. Obviously, he was lying when he said he didn't know who she was. He knew who Simone Biles was. Well, actually, I had two things because the next thing I want to comment on is the poses. Remember, he was talking about her sending him poses, gymnastic poses. You know why I think that he responded like that? I think that him saying, "Bro, like why you doing all that yada yada yip yada?" I think that her poses were reminding him of her excellence compared to his mediocrity in his career, and that's my perspective on that.
All right. Well, you didn't explain the humility bit, but
you want to explain the humility part?
Nope. Thank you for your perspective. Ain't no way I'm going to sit through you telling me he was humble. Ain't no way. There's zero chances of that happening.
Well, I think that's what he was. Well, it's a perspective, right? Obviously, I could be wrong. I hear everybody else's perspective, but that's what it could have been.
In the power of TDJ.
Ooh.
Swallowed. Swallowed.
Ooh.
Have you? Have you ever been swallowed up?
In the power. I bless you. Thank you. Thank you. You too. In the far bottom, I'm kidding. Her career Her career overshadow all the men in the period. And most of the men in the let me stop. Black men are the most defensive of each other at the same time unaliving of each other of any other group. I'm so confused. You know, it is a weird paradox. I think it's only a paradox insofar as there is a difference between the image and substantively what happens. And I think we, as a general matter, tend to protect the image, and that's an unfortunate reality. Um, Petty and Themis, y'all should protect your brother. And Blacks. They're dragging him by his 10-inch middle part bust down. Period. We're gonna protect him. I've been protecting. All right. Nikki, go ahead.
Okay, hi. Good night, everybody. I hope there's no echo. So I had a few points that I wanted to
make?
Go over with you guys. I think there's a delay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first thing was I saw where you said that you wanted us to kind of defend or, call in if we were going to be defending him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the same stance as you in regards to letting men tell us who they are. So I don't think he said anything wrong per se in the interview because I want to hear these things. I also don't think that the interviewers did anything wrong by allowing him to dig himself a hole and follow up by clarifying in plain words what he was actually saying and doing. If he didn't grasp the cues that the interviewers were, I think, making very blatant, then that's on him. But I don't blame him for saying what he said. The other point that I wanted to bring up was how constantly I've heard a few people say they're young. I would say that's a little bit of a pet peeve that I have. I don't know if others have it, but 28, 26, I don't consider that young. I think that based on they should know that I don't want to take anything away from them by saying, what they're doing right now at their age is for this situation is because they're young. Yes, people haven't had as many experiences at 26 and 28 as someone at 50. But I don't believe that the scenario that we're seeing with these two is completely brand new, and both of them, or Simone's in particular, haven't seen enough through movies, books, personal experiences with friends to say that, oh, they're so young, this is a first time thing. I think it maybe comes down just to the person and maybe the insecurities or however their personality is. But I do have a pet peeve when people say, oh, they're young. I think that's dismissive in some way and maybe keeping people from being able to meet the accountability that I think they should be, facing in a situation.
I would agree with you there, especially because she's younger than him. And I see most women, she left. I was going to say, I see most women in these situations tend to be the same age as the man or younger. And somehow they don't have to come out and say, I don't really like my husband like that. I'm not really. He had to reach out to me and chase me in X, Y, and Z. I don't see them I don't see like the lack of protection in their relationship. publicly in the way that he's doing. Even like when he was 17 or however old, I'm pretty sure Gabby, the gymnast he was speaking about, was also around that age at the time. Like the quote unquote victims, because she was a victim of his insults online towards her as she was winning gold medals. They are the same age, and somehow they're not coming out to do what he's doing. So I don't find that to be a reasonable defense, in my opinion.
So I agree with you. Also, we're going into the after show because we're way over. There was a point that I brought up that I'm remembering now. By the way, that was not me. That was Petty's video. FYI, while she was talking, those were Petty's video, not mine. Petty's disrespectful, not me. So I am okay with people saying women should go after what they want, including men. I am not saying this is wrong. I am not critiquing this approach. I'm not invested in it enough to like be annoyed at anyone. But please note that we still live in the society that we live in, which is patriarchal and in a lot of ways misogynistic, right? The issue in doing this is that society is going to react in a very specific way. And so when you articulate or when your partner comes out and does what Mr. Biles, no, I don't mean that, Simone Biles' husband did, it puts a target on her back. And so I am not willing to say he is ignorant of this and that he didn't know and he was just trying to be honest. While there is evidence that he might just be that dumb because he did write a post when he was in high school talking about why is there an Asian lady coaching the gymnastic team for the US, right? So there is some credence to the idea that ignorance in not the I don't know way of the word, but the he might not be able to learn well way of the word is a true thing for him in this moment. So either way, I don't like it. And that's where we're going to end and go into the after show after we read this one super chat. I just found it funny. I'm not doing this with y'all. We don't know. Someone is behind here called Mr. Biles' attorney. Mr. Biles' attorney, what say you?
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, but I feel like you were here to troll. I feel a trolling session.
I'm not trolling. So I'm laughing because I'm laughing at my cat. So yeah.
I'm sure you're laughing at your cat and not because you're up here trolling with the name Mr. Biles' attorney. Go ahead.
No, I'm here because I definitely believe that in the interview that we watched, Mr. Biles was definitely asking for help. That entire interview was a cry for help.
I mean, that's true. He's been asking for help his whole career, so that nothing new there.
No, but he is a victim of Simone. And if you guys can't see that, you guys are blind here. Number one, like he said repeatedly that he didn't want her, that he ignored her messages because, you know, apparently what guys do on these dating apps is they swipe everyone. That's what I heard. They swipe everyone, and then so they can basically make sure they get the most matches possible. And I think that's the only way that they matched is because he just clicked yes on her, but he didn't really want her, because that's what guys do. And so when he said he didn't want her and she chased him and she drove 45 miles or 45 minutes to his house, I don't think that he gave her, you know, his address. I think she stalked him. I think she found out his address because she said, you know, he said he went to her Instagram or she went to his Instagram and liked his pictures. So I feel like, you know, everyone thinks that short women are sweet and cute and adorable when really most of them are monsters. I mean, really,
Oh, that's
really,
unfortunate. You calling her
really
a
think about
monster?
it. Am I what?
Calling her a monster.
I mean, she was sitting there smiling the entire, time during the interview. And who else does things like that we were just talking about? Who else, never let anyone go anywhere without their presence? And, I think when she was sending those pictures of her with her legs in pencils, I think those were threats. Basically letting him, basically, no, I think she was threatening him, basically saying, if you tell anybody about, who I really am and what we do, then this is what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to put your legs behind your head and see how you like it.
I was thinking you were going to go with it was like unwanted attention or something.
It's unwanted attention and it's a threat because, obviously he's not that flexible. He's not, maybe, I mean, he does look to be in shape. I mean, he has nice legs. He has a nice body, but, people think that short women are like these petite little soft
Girl,
beings. And
someone
a
said
lot
you
of them,
sound like someone said you sound like Jonathan Major's lawyer.
well, if you think about it, he was running away from that white woman, and this is exactly what is happening. Both. I'm laughing because you're laughing. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because you're laughing. Like when people cry, I cry. When people laugh, I laugh. But Jonathan was running away from that woman who was aggressively chasing him. And now this Jonathan is trying to run away from Simone. And you guys are just all too blind to see it. You see a short woman and you think that she's cute when really they're little tiny demons. Like, I don't know any short.
Petty, you're not doing your job. Oh, you're not doing your job.
I didn't remove her.
No, I said you're not doing your job.
It's because I heard a powerful sermon, and it has radically shifted how I approach these conversations.
What is the Sakura Sasuke School of Stalking? Is it? Wait, what sermon? Thank you.
Have you ever been? Have you ever? Well, let me play it. Can you hear this?
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming? And I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever
Who
been
is that?
swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything
That was Termaine Dennis Jakes. He does sermons. I don't know his first two names. You've never heard of him, actually? You've never seen this man before?
Oh yeah, we talked about him last week, I think. Yeah,
Local.
I know who he is.
Who talked about? I never talked about this man.
Oh, I thought he was. I don't know.
I only talked about him when he said women need to give space for men to lead. That's the one thing I said about this man. Everything else, I don't know. Don't ask me about it. I don't know. Never heard anything about it. Don't pull me into it.
Is he the one who said, "Look at your neighbor and say he's a meat stretcher"?
No one said
What?
that. It's very lying.
Hold up. Let me see. You don't believe me?
I don't believe you.
Look at your neighbor and say he's a meat stretcher. He'll stretch your meat. Hallelujah.
What? I'm confused.
Wait, that's not him. Penny, you play too much. Wait, that don't even sound like him.
Hold up. I don't know if that's him. I was asking.
Girl, You can't be putting things out there like that. That's evil.
No, I don't. I don't know if that's him. I was asking, is that him?
How am I gonna know?
I asked y'all, and y'all are upset. He's a
I
what?
have no idea.
You
if that's
can't be
him.
putting false information out there on people. I don't know this man. They said he did some things that I've never talked about because I don't know if it is true.
I don't know. If I was accused of stuff, I wouldn't be out here talking about swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Swallowed. Well, let him
That
say
was
it.
probably before that.
You think so? So you think there were signs?
I have no idea.
Overwhelming, and I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming? And
what do you think he was talking about? Which verse? Which verse is that? Is that Psalms? Proverbs?
No, y'all are taking things out of context. This man was talking about being swallowed, going through a period of time.
Swallowed by guilt, or what do you think?
You've been swallowed and you feel like you're underwater or you're not doing well.
You've watched the whole sermon?
No, I didn't watch the whole sermon, but I went to look at an excerpt to see what y'all were talking about. But y'all decided that y'all wanted to just make fun of him saying swallowed.
Why would we make fun of that?
I don't know, because I don't know what's up.
Oh. Well, I think people are just playing that clip because we don't want to play his whole sermon. Like, he made that, put hard effort into it, and we shouldn't just be all out here. So we take small portions of it, make it transformative, commentary. Just it's like a YouTube thing. So I think that's why people are just taking that one clip instead of like just playing his whole thing.
Yeah, no, he was talking about hard times, and someone said it was like Pinocchio being swallowed by like the whale or whatever, and then Jonah was swallowed. There's a lot of swallowing in the Bible. No, not in that way, but there's definitely swallowing happening in the Bible.
And the meats.
That's not it. You play too much.
Oh, is that in the Bible too?
The Lord was as an enemy. He has swallowed up Israel. Like there's a lot of references to swallowed. Genesis 41:7. The thin heads of a grain swallowed up the 7 plump ripe ones. The thin heads of grain swallowed the 7. There's in Exodus there, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
Did you search meat, or did you? Because I feel like maybe it's in reference to didn't God take like 2 pieces of meat and a loaf of bread, I think, and fed several people? So it could be that was the
Exodus, thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them, and they go not into sea when the holy thing is swallowed. I am done. So there's a lot of references to swallowed.
Okay.
So y'all just wanted to take this man out of context and drag him. Someone said he has swallowed down rich hills. All right, let me not. The word swallowed is actually funny, like the word moist. I hate both words.
I don't find it funny, just his presentation of it.
God is a meat stretcher and the Holy Spirit swallows. Sound about no, this is blasphemy.
Be sure to like the video.
Oh my God. So Psalms 35:25 says, let them not say in their hearts, so so we have it. Let them not say we have swallowed him up. Wait, what? Shall it be told? Shall it be told him that I speak? If a man speak, surely he shall be swallowed up. Wait. These verses out of context are the worst. like I'm reading some of these verses out of context, obviously, and they're the worst. All right. Anywho, thank you all for watching. I don't know how we got here, but I'm so sorry we're ending here. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna hop into the Discord for a minute just to like debrief on this swallow TDJ foolishness. Have a wonderful night. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. I see some super chats. Furious says, what? Oh, I read that already. Oh, I read these. Thank you all. Any final thoughts? No? Yes? Maybe?
Swallow the like button. It helps stretch. It helps stretch the channel.
Stop. Okay. All right. Kay said bye, y'all.
Yeah, bye.
We will see y'all next year. Actually, I'm going to be back Friday. So they will see y'all next year. I will see y'all Friday because we're going over at least the first 2 hours of that men's panel that I did. And we'll talk. I should have a special guest, but let me confirm before I announce. All right. Bye.
Good night.
Luego.